Welcome to episode 11 of the Winning Team Podcast. I am Eugene.
I'm Latanya.
And I'm Micah.
And we have a special guest today for y'all.
Our first guest.
Micah Gatewood, live in the flesh. What's up, man?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Doing good. Exciting. So you have completed your first year of college and on your way into your second year of college. So tell us a little bit about your first year.
My first year, it was very eventful, very exciting. And it was a good experience. A lot of great opportunities for not only me, but also for my future career as a broadcast journalist. And I got to be able to broadcast and do color commentary, not only for two actual basketball games, one for men's and women's, but I also was able to have the opportunity to do a Big South tournament game for the women's side, which is a very great experience, and I know it's gonna look really good on my resume.
Yes, we want that.
It's that money.
Yeah.
Needs a job.
Besides that, I think it's been really fun. I mean, I got to see like the party side of college, and to be very honest with you, it's not how it is in the movies. It's not as eventful in the movies.
Oh, okay. We'll talk a little bit more about that later.
The people, it was a little so-so. I had friends like my roommate, shout out Aaron. Love you, Aaron.
Yeah.
All the way.
What's
Love
up,
you, Aaron.
Aaron?
All the way from NC. I'm going to come back and visit, by the way. And all my friends, my friend group, Chris, Nate.
You got to name names. You're going to forget people.
Like all my friends. I love,
Shout
out to all the people there and all the friends I made there. And I mean, that I love them. I love those guys to death. But also there was people that I met there that weren't really that, weren't really all that. And it kind of steered my path around kind of being a little avoidant towards those people. I knew they weren't going to be right for me. And same with the party situation. Me being a Christian myself, and I didn't really indulge in the things they did. And I was pressured to do it, but I chose not to. And some people took it respectfully, and some people judged me for it. But at the end of the day, it was my decision, and it doesn't really matter what they say. Is what I thought in my heart and what I follow, and stay sober minded.
Amen. So because of that, your first year was at High Point University. Sounds like you had a wonderful time. I know so many more. I love the opportunities that you had. And so now you're transferring to Bradley University for your second year. So tell me what you're looking forward to for your second year at Bradley University.
I'm looking forward to their sports comm program because they're one of like the only schools that actually have like a whole school destined for sports comm, and I'm very
dedicated to it.
Dedicated to it. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for the internship opportunities because in the summer there's opportunity for like field trips to the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, White Sox, and the Blackhawks. So it'll be good exposure for not only because I love basketball. I want to do basketball, do color commentary, and play-by-play for the Bulls, and especially basketball, whatever team that God graces me to be upon to do commentary. But it'll give me exposure to other sports and see how the setup for that will work. And I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for the clubs because there's a lot more clubs than High Point had to offer. Not a rag on them, but still, they had a whole app called Be Involved, and I saw a lot of not only on the sports side because I saw intramural flag football, which was very interested in club basketball and intramural basketball, which I'm going to incorporate in my schedule throughout the weeks, and also different clubs like Mic Check. That's a music related one, and me being a producer, an artist and songwriter, that's very vital to me because it gives me more exposure and more insight on people who do different things within music, and it can set up connections for the future so I can not only improve myself on the sports commentary side and broadcasting side and all the journalism side, but also I can improve myself on my music side and improve my songwriting, lyricism, beat making, and like recording and making my beats sound like they're actually in the studio and sound more professional. Same with like both sides. And I'm me being a people person and very extroverted, I'm also excited to just meet new people. And a lot of people I know that hopefully it's a better experience and I meet a lot of good people because I know I'm in the LLC program for Bradley.
What is LLC? Is that the Innovation and Problem Solving Program?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And there's a lot of workshops that we're going to do to open our minds to what things can we do to make the world a better place. And I'm very excited for that. There's a lot of good, great things and great events that they're setting up. The coordinators are setting up where we all get involved and do projects. Not only do projects, but also do like fun stuff, like go to movies. Just go out.
So you go to make networking. I saw that you're going to go to Caterpillar.
Yeah, Caterpillar.
I saw that you're going to also go to an innovation lab where it's a bunch of entrepreneurs who are doing startup, who all have started their own businesses, so that you can go and understand and learn from them what it means to start businesses. I saw that you're going to meet with a group of individuals who have patents. And so of course, the program is all about how to be more innovative. So you're going to meet with people who are very innovative and creative and learn how to have your own inventions. Amazing program. I'm excited for you about that. Good, man.
Well, wait, I think you didn't say the most important part.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a single dorm.
No, that's not.
That is a good point.
Yes.
But that you're going to be 2 hours away from your parents.
Oh, yeah. I'm very close.
See?
Very close.
That was the thing. That was the last thing. I had to remind him that you're going to be close to your parents.
You don't care nothing about being closer to us, and that's okay.
Not
My feelings are not
we
hurt.
low on the totem pole down here.
They are not. They're not.
But that's exciting. I mean, it sounds like you have already had many opportunities to grow, to expand. I mean, as your parents, I mean, we're proud of you. We're extremely proud of you.
Absolutely.
And, we've been talking about what's in your future for a very, very long time.
Since like I was 9 years old.
Yeah, easily.
Easily.
And not only me, but all my friends too. Like,
and that was
if they get them on here, they would say the same thing.
Absolutely.
Well, it wasn't just about your future. I mean, we know that our purpose on this planet is to help other people, especially students and kids, to realize their greatest potential. And so
to prove it.
it's our honor and our pleasure to do it for everybody, but especially for you as our son. So we're just extremely proud of you and extremely excited. And so what's amazing is that we've decided the way to kick this off, probably the next 3 or 4 podcasts are going to be on parenting. And so we decided, you know what? Well, how about we have Micah here in the flesh, on the camera, on the audio, so that everybody can see who you are. We're proud of you. And I'm sure everybody will see just how proud we are of you and why we're proud of you. Well, let me back up. So Mom and I have been having this conversation with many people because oftentimes many of the people, we hear them talking about the girl being the prize. We hear them talking about how their daughters are the prize. But as a boy dad and as a boy mom, we often feel the same way. And so we know that you have been preparing and praying to be very successful in what God has blessed you with. Even as we talk about what's in your future, we famously have you say that
my future is my responsibility.
My future is my responsibility. So it wasn't even about us forcing you to do what we needed you to do. We wanted you to discover God for yourself, to have your own personal relationship with God for yourself so that you can trust in him with all your heart, lean to not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he would direct your path. But in that, you have a desire to, on this path, to find a life partner and to find somebody that's doing it. So we've had, say it again.
On a rib.
You're rib. But I mean, we know that you're only a sophomore. So we're not necessarily trying to do that at this very moment. But we start talking about, just commonly over dinner, we sometimes talk about dating and what the dating scene looks like. And you've said to me that the advice that I give don't work. And so I thought that was kind of funny. And so in my mind, I'm like, boy, you're a good catch. But of course I'm biased because I'm your dad. She's your mom. So of course we're going to think, you are an amazing young man with goals, with vision, with values, Christian young man. And we're trying to raise you up, because as for us in our house, we will serve the Lord. Mm-hmm. But you telling me that ain't working. So I want you to give me some examples of what is some advice that I've given you that you've tried out there that just ain't work.
I gotta think back. This is a lot. He told my head up a lot.
I was going to say, what was a lot? That he told you a lot, or?
Well, just give an example. Yeah. So what's the difference you think between dating now and dating us back when we dated? Like what? Yeah, what do you think the main difference now in dating?
I mean, from seeing it in movies, a lot of movies, like it took time for like the 90s, back in the 90s, like seeing all the movies, I love basketball. I love that movie, by the way. It's my favorite movie of all time. Seeing Loving Basketball and different scenarios like that, I've seen the guy being very, very polite and very kind, very sweet towards the girl. And the girl would be like, oh, this is kind of nice. This is nice. He's pretty cute. And then over the days, the guy would try to do a lot more and more to try to get the girl's attention, which kind of actually does relate to modern dating now, because the guy does want to do a lot for the girl, but it's backed up more now.
What do you mean by backed up more?
How back in the 90s, a guy would get a girl flowers, and they would show it to her door with like candy or flowers, give it to her. But if a guy did that now, the girl would just look like, why are you trying so hard?
So why do you think that's different now? Have you tried that, or have you had experience with that, or is that something that you heard or that you've seen?
I've seen it a lot, where girls love when a guy gives her flowers. Like I've seen it all over my Snapchat stories, my friends. So my girl best friends say I love flowers. And then some girls, on the other hand, are like, don't give me flowers. I'm not going to accept it. I'm like,
okay, so think about your experience. Think about your experience. Like tell us more about like something that we've taught, or just something about based on who you are as a young man. And then when you're trying to be nice, as it sounds like you're saying, you're being nice to a female or to a young lady. And when you're being nice to a young lady, like what has been their response when you have been nice to them?
Try responses. When I'm nice and I act like, hey, how you doing? I'm named Mike, and nice to meet you. They're like, hi. I'm good. How are you? I'm like, well, tell me about it. Just I want to get to know you better. And they're just like, I do nothing. Like, I don't know. They say their hobbies. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's really like I'm the one kind of like carrying the conversation, and I feel more interested in talking to the girl. But if I noticed this too, if I say something and and they respond and I hold back a little bit, I see more like interested responses. But when I answer quickly, I get the notion that girls think that that's thirsty. Because I've talked to my girl best friends, and they say they like fast replies, but at the same time, some of my girl best friends have told me when a guy responds super fast, I feel like they have nothing to do and they just want to text me all day.
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
based on how we started this conversation, you have a lot going on in your life. But so you're saying that if you find someone that you're just genuinely interested in, and so you pursue her and you show her that you're interested, chances are that she's not going to like that if you tell her, if you show genuine interest.
Absolutely.
So instead, you have to not respond to her and not text her back or call her back.
or not even, or act like she don't even exist.
Act like she don't exist.
And then she'll be like, why'd you stop talking to me? Do you not like me anymore? What'd I do?
Y'all got to help me with that because
Yeah.
that is
I'm like,
confusing. So I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is true for everybody, but and I remember oftentimes when we'll be talking and I'll be telling you like, and there may be a time where there may have been a young lady that you were very interested in and then she did go away. And I'm like, bro, like, and I'm constantly encouraging you that like, bro, trust me, there are young ladies out there that are searching and your response will be, but where they at?
And
then,
right, that's the, like, because I know talking to my friends, like, man, I want a girl like that. Like, I talking about girls and talking to my girl best friends and guy best friends. Talking to my homies saying, like, man, like, I want a girl, bro. Like, don't worry, don't trip. Like, I have to talk about my girl problems. They're like, don't trip, bro. The right ones are out there for you. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Don't ever in your life say that statement again, because you lying. Where they at though?
Well, they're most out there, and that's the part. And again, I understand that that's maybe how you feel, but that's my question: is that when I think about because here's the thing, not trying to put your business out on the street, but like that's a conversation that we commonly have. And so my thing is as we're preparing, and not even that you don't have options. Because on the reverse side, there'll be some young ladies that you'll be talking to that you'll then find out that her values may not match your values. And then therefore you stop talking to her. And so there may be other young ladies who have pursued you. And I'm not trying to put your business out on the street, but, you know, we joke, but they may want you for reasons that you're just not quite ready for yet.
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
And so you decide to hold back. And so the question that I had is that, you know, I understand that many are saying that their daughters are the prize, but as a father and a mother, we're wondering like, where are those girls and how do we create an environment where the two of you can meet? Because I know they're out there, because I'm talking to a lot of these girl dads who are saying that they want their daughters to find young men who have these qualities. And as they're naming those qualities, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like my son. Mm-hmm. But then I'm wondering, like, why can't, what is it about you that you all can't find each other? That's one. And then secondly, there's a whole nother crop of young ladies that you tell me about where you like, hey, I was talking to her and then she did this or she did that. And I'm like, whoa. And so as I'm on social media, the same as you, I'm listening to all of these people talk about their girl is the prize, their daughter is the prize, their daughter's the prize. But my question is who's preparing the daughters as we're preparing you to be a gentleman, a priest, provider, and protector of their daughter? Who's preparing the daughters to be the helpmate, the guide, the woman of God, the partner for you? And I know that they say they're a gift, but you have another, that they're the prize, but you have another theory about that.
Yeah, I like to say that my son is a gift, because prizes, they can come and go. And a prize is you usually are paying for that. And then it may not be what you have to, you may have to pay to get a bigger one. And I think we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Whereas a gift is given from the heart. It's a special present to them. And so it shouldn't cost you a whole lot. It should be something that adds value to who you are and who you are as a person. And so I like to say that that you are a gift. Like, and again, I know women, we like to say, oh, I'm the prize. And we say it all like this too. I'm the prize. But like, no, I want to be a gift. I want to be wrapped in when you're thinking about a gift, appreciate it. And it is something that I know that when it was given to me, when you give me a gift, I know you thought about it. I know there's intentionality around what you gave, and you wanted to make me feel like I'm seen, heard, and appreciated when I get a gift. And so that's what I feel for you. Like, I feel like you are a gift to someone because of your values, because of how you want to care for a young lady, and how you want to have a family, and how you're God-fearing. And so I think that's a gift. And I feel like you get a prize anywhere, but you can't get a gift.
I agree. And I have an analogy that I was thinking about. And oftentimes when I hear I'm a prize, like I was thinking about, I say Cedar Point because, that's where we grew up. But I know you would say Six Flags, but I'm just going to say an amusement park.
Crazy. It's kind of how convenient that is.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about when you're at an amusement park, and I'll say there's times when I walk up and I'll see a prize on the wall, and that prize will become attractive to us because it's big. It has all of the features that we're attracted to. Come on, go with me. Just go with me in the analogy. And so you see this prize. And so as a man, you're attracted to that prize. So you go up to it and you decide to pay to play the game. I'm putting up air quotes, so that you can win this big, beautiful prize. And so then you put your money down to pay for this prize. And then you do what's necessary in order to win. For me, is usually shooting a basket. And then I win. But then after I win, the person behind the counter reaches down and gives me this little baby prize, not the prize that I first saw. And so I feel like as you and I have talked like often, like there's a game that you play and you think you're going to win this big, pretty, beautiful prize that's up here. But once you get to know the situation and the game more, you realize in order for me to get that, I got to play this game again and again and again and again to have the opportunity for the big prize that I thought I saw. But really, once I started to get in the situation, I realized that I'm asking myself, is this prize really worth it? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the question that we really have to really contemplate as a dad raising a young man, is that I know that we are doing everything in our power to prepare him to seek God, to desire to be respectful and loving, so that you can go out there and find the one that God has for you. Mm-hmm. But the question that I have is, where are the parents who are preparing young women so that you can find who God has created, or who's preparing them for someone like you? And that's the part that I'm not sure, because in this world of social media, I know that it's important. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Mom.
No, I was going to say the fact that you brought up social media, because I think that impacts a lot of going back to the conversation around dating now and dating then. We did not have social media, but there was our influences. Each generation has its influences of what impacts what you wear, say, hear, dress, and I think even your concept of dating. During our time, one of the key terminologies was a gold digger. I don't want to be a gold digger. But so that same frame of mind, I think, is still that's still a term, but it probably looks different. But I think,
it made it like more out there in the early 2000s, where him and Jamie Foxx made that song.
Exactly.
It still plays around today.
Exactly. But I think social media plays a major part in dating. And so what is that? How has social media impacted your dating journey?
Because your block game is very strong. And I want to know, how has social media impacted it? Because I don't know if he really knows how to get, because he doesn't have a comparison, anything before social media to compare it to. So that you can still answer the question, But the other thing that to throw in there is that you also block people really, really fast. And so tell us, what is dating like for include when you have access to social media, and tell us why your block game so strong.
Man, where do I start? So
keep it general.
Yeah, I know.
This is short.
Got it. All right. So one thing I really see from looking at all social media is music. And man, does music have a big benefiting factor within the dating realm.
Benefiting or just influence?
It's a big influence. Correction, influence. Like, you have a lot of female rappers that really influence how some of these women act. Not all, just some. Because a good amount of them I've seen do not like some of the female artists that are out here right now. And I just see it all over social media. Some girls post a song that's preaching super toxic and non-monogamous things towards relationships. And there's one I saw of a woman talking about all the places that she doesn't want to get taken on the first date. The first one was Cheesecake Factory.
I remember that.
That's one of the fanciest restaurants I've been to. Their food is stupendous. Chicken Alfredo, by the way, is excellent.
But I think you're right. That's the difference in values. Like, that's values, and I mean, and music could influence. But again, those are women who have those values and those standards. And all I'm saying is, I don't think all women are like that. No, and if that's the case, then I'm gonna let you keep going. But my question is, I know the majority of the women out there would be fine if you took them to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But how do you find them in the sea of women who are on the internet that doesn't think that's okay? But I'm sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all good.
Your block game is where we were going next.
Yeah. I just watch how people move and seeing how they act, because I've seen certain situations with girls. I've seen the way how they act towards me, which is very nice, very cordial, very sweet. But when like I bring my friends around, or when she's around other people, they start to act very mean towards them. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I kind of just the character kind of like expresses yourself right there. Like, how are you gonna be nice to me, but mean to everybody else? And that just makes me look into the future of like, is this how you're gonna act in front of my parents, in front of my whole family, in front of like my boss, in front of other people that are very important to my life? And I don't want to be get the low end of the stick because of the fact that how she's acting towards other people. And I know this is birds of a feather flock together. It's going to be an impact on me too, because people are going to think that I'm like that too, unless it's the people I know.
Yeah.
And
so I think that's key right there. Like, you gotta, I think, being aware of what you see in a person. And we often talk about your block game, because Dad be like, well, just give him an opportunity. And I'm like, well, look, he sees something, feels something, so it must be something. Even though my phrase
this phrase is, if it don't feel right, smell right, taste right, it ain't right.
And I say that's the same thing for a young.
Gonna say that tomorrow when we on the track.
Yes, I am. But I think that's the same thing in relationships. If it don't feel right, I don't want you tasting anything. Then it's not right. Like, you have to listen to what's inside of you. And so we often do try to tell you, like, have some balance with it, because you be like, nope, your left eye wrong. Nope, don't feel right. I'm out of here. But I also want you, if there's something internally in you that's saying, this is not for me because of character, or because of attitude, or because of, if this is how you treat this person, what will this look like when I do something that person does? I think those are all key things to keep in mind when you are in a relationship or looking to build a relationship with someone. So, a lot of adults don't have that, where they into adulthood. And so the fact that you're building that muscle now, I think is really important as you, continue to seek the young lady that is for you.
I think you have done a phenomenal job of doing the work. You have persevered through so much physically, mentally, emotionally, and it wasn't easy during times. It was hard, but you've done the work. I mean, you've done the work by getting closer to God. You've done the work by, talking to us. You've done the work by going through therapy. Like, you've done the work. And what that's done is it's caused you to be so much more stable. And for a more technical term, you've developed what many call emotional intelligence. And so you're still developing it, but it's helped you to have a desire for deeper connections. And I'm just not sure in this day and age how much people of your age are ready or mature enough to handle deeper connections, because you got to have things like empathy and desire intimacy and know how to support one another.
I don't know about desire intimacy. That's a lot. That's a big thing nowadays.
Well, intimacy doesn't necessarily mean sexuality. Intimacy is a desire to see inside someone, not just having a relationship with them physically. Because I know you and I have talked about people who have desired to be intimate with you, and then when you decided not to be intimate with them, then they decided to cut you off. But but I'm saying that when you have emotional intelligence and you start to desire deeper connections, because you want to know who a person is. But as you said, as soon as you start asking some young ladies about who they are, that throws them off. And they're like, why are you asking about who I am? Like, and they think that you're just trying to go too fast. Some think that they may see that as, corny, whatever it is. But emotional intelligence also allows you to get to a place where you effectively communicate. You try to build stronger relationships. It's a place where you've become more self-aware because you've done the what's necessary for personal growth and development so that you can have peace and happiness within yourself. But when you go through it and you do that work, your radar is so high for a person who's going to bring discord into your life. And so I understand it 100 times over that when you can discern, like, this person is not going to be peaceful. And if I've done all of this work to have peace, I'm not going to allow you to disturb that peace. So I'm going to block you and cut you off before you come and disturb the peace. Now, the reason why I often push back is because I think that it's also a muscle to be developed, that everybody's not going to come perfect. Now, I'm not saying that everybody needs to be attached to you, because there are some people that are going to try to come and attach themselves, but they're not assigned to you. And so I don't want them attaching themselves and becoming leeches and sucking the life out of you. I want you to be able to discern, is this person someone that's supposed to be assigned to me? And if they are, then that means that sometimes you're going to have to, you will be willing and understand that it becomes a part of your assignment to help them to grow, to help them to develop, and you persevere through it, because no one's going to be perfect. But I'd sometimes want you to figure out how to work through those things. But you'd be like, nah, bro, I don't talk to them no more. I cut them off a long time ago. So, I think emotional intelligence is very important. But to close this out, we're going to ask a couple more questions. But when you're thinking about, school, when you're thinking about your purpose, you talked a lot about in the beginning, sports broadcast, you got some goals that you're trying to achieve. And as you've said, I mean, there's been people who were desiring for you to, put them as the priority even over your future, and you block them and cut them off too. So I understand that you do have a focus and desire, and your goal is not to necessarily find a wife right now. That's not what you're trying to do. But what type of young lady, are you looking for? What type of young lady are you preparing for at this time? So give me some of the qualities that that you're actually looking for?
Of course, the first thing is God-fearing.
Why is that important?
Because, I mean, just from us talking, I know a marriage is a connection not only with another person, but it's a connection with God as well. And with that, having me and the woman I'm going to be with in the future, us both having a godly connection and a relationship with Christ, that's a big thing because we can both not only help each other individually grow with Christ, but we can grow together as Christ. Mm-hmm. And it's said in Scripture, two joined into one is a big thing because that's gonna be very prosperous for a relationship to last very, very long.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And not only that, also like a woman that's very positive and very enthusiastic about not like within themselves, like joyful, but also just like it has a positive outlook on life. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want a woman that has a negative mindset and is always a downer on things. Mm-hmm. And like I don't want one bad thing to happen in our relationship and her immediately spiraling downhill, because that's a problem I had. And by the grace of God, I got therapy and I built myself to think more positively now. Mm-hmm. And I got more mentally stronger with looking at the positive side of things. And I want that for my future woman as well. Because then we can both work things out and not say, oh, this is going to turn out bad, but also turn it into what can we do to make this look better than it may not seem. Mm-hmm. And another quality that I like to have in a woman is that I'm very affectionate, and with my past, there's been times where it's been one-sided, and it's been like 90 and 10% with like me being one side showing the affection, her just only showing a little bit, and that kind of like turns me away from her.
You want somebody to match your energy.
Yeah, match my energy. Like that's the phrase we use nowadays. I want someone to match my energy. But
no hugging, no affection, no I can't take that.
Yeah, like I like a girl that's affectionate. Mm-hmm. And because I mean, going into love languages, because that's a big thing also, that when I talk to a lot of women, they're interested in that. And like, because they've always asked me, what's your love language? And like, mine's physical touch and words of affirmation. Because I did the test myself and I've seen that. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking back, like, yeah, I do agree with that. Because I'm very affectionate. I'm what they call a friendly giant. I may look intimidating, but really, if you get to know me, I'm very, very positive, very kind person, genuine person. And I want my girl to be kind of like me. But, if she has a different love language, it's fine too. I'll work around it. I'm very flexible with that. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. And also, I mean, it's not really cool, but not only that, I do want a woman that is very supportive. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to support her in her career. Like I want her to do the same and support me with my career. Because I don't want someone to be a hater and put me down. And her being my companion, my girlfriend, and soon to be and future wife, I want her to be very supportive in the things I do, and try to not only that, but try to help me grow into that. Mm-hmm. Into that where I want to be. And I want to do the same for her. Mm-hmm. I not only want to provide some intel and provide information for her to help her grow, I want to just be there emotionally. And she thinks that she's not doing well in her career, I want to help her be like, hey, everything's going to be okay. I'm right here. I got you. I want to do the same with me. And be like, I'm here. I love you. I support you. And I want you to succeed because I want her to succeed. Mm-hmm. So
that's great. Okay. I appreciate you sharing that. And let me be clear, because I don't, anybody listening to this could, think that we have our priorities wrong, that we're sitting here talking about, getting married tomorrow and you are a sophomore in college.
Not at all.
That's not the case. And so you have a lot of people, and this is just me talking in my opinion, that are very career focused. And these are individuals that I've coached for life coaching, and just people that I've talked to otherwise, who are looking for mates who were extremely focused on their careers in the beginning through college and right after college. And they weren't trying to find a mate. And it was career, 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 career. And they shot off and they did career and they did really well. But now they're like, I can't find nobody. But it's because I think during the time when you're like focused on your career, that's also the time where like two things can be true at one time. Mm-hmm. And so my prayer is that during this time, you will find someone that will not be a distraction, because if they are a distraction from your God-given purpose, that's actually an indicator that that's the wrong person. Mm-hmm. And I know that by firsthand experience. Yes, and so be quiet. But I have to. But you know, but it's like, you know, that's the part. And so my prayer is that, you know, that during this next year of life, that you will be focused, unifocused, you know, being a part of this LLC program. You'll be also doing, you know, the Bradley Braves on campus, where you'll be helping out with, you know, sports broadcasting then. You know, Anchor. Yeah, all of that, the Anchor for BU, but you're going to have to do time management well. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to prioritize well, mm-hmm. and you're going to have a lot of pressure to succeed. But the more that you're focused on who God has called you to be, the more you're focused on continuing to become more and more like Christ and who God has called you to be, I believe that that's what's actually going to draw all things to you. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, his righteousness, and all other things will be drawn to you. And I believe that it's not just things, but it's also the people who God will send in your path so that they can become your helper, so that you all can walk side by side and continue to do what God is calling you to do. So you have goals, you'll have time management, you'll prioritize your task. You'll communicate effectively, not only for your career and for school, but also you communicated effectively even here, what you're looking for. And my prayer is that there are some people out there that are looking, and I don't know how it is, but I've been telling your mom all the time, I was like, I need to figure out a way to create the environment where young men like you and young women that are just like you, because I believe that they're like, even when you were talking, the young men, the fathers who I'm talking to, they're like, oh, she just sit in her room. She don't leave her room. Or she's just sitting at home. She don't leave her dorm. She doesn't leave. It's like, and I'm like, yeah. And even us talking to you, you wouldn't leave your dorm room. It's like, dude, get out of the dorm.
You had a period.
I had a period of that.
Yeah, you know.
But I think now going into the new year and a new school, you'll have a new focus and new direction, because I think you, like Dad said, you've done the work. And I think that's really the important part, because dating is different. I think dating is different in 2024 than in 1994 when we were starting this journey. And so I think the lived experiences and our life experience helps to pour into you. Your lived experience dictates where you go and how you move with the next young lady from there. But I think what's key is what you said, is really understanding who you are and that you've done the work to be able to do that. And again, you are a gift. You've been a gift. You are a gift to us. And so it is our goal to make sure gift from God. Yes. Lord. And it is our prayer to make sure that you are a gift to someone else. Because I say all the time that your grandmother did not give me, Gma didn't give me a mess. And so I don't want to give another young lady a mess of a man. And so we pour into you and share, but ultimately, God will get the glory in it, but you are a gift. And I even share that with even the other young men that are around you. You are a gift, as well as these young ladies. Someone coming into your life should be a gift. Your dad is a gift to me. We want just a prize, that you put away. It's a gift that I cherish. And so that's the same thing that we want and pray for you as well as you're on this next on this new journey, on this next journey.
And I still want to just close, and I know you may have something else to close, but I still want to say that even though you think my advice doesn't matter or my advice don't work, I'm still standing on business as we talking about right now. And I'm still business. I'm still saying that the foundation of any strong relationship, whether it's 1994 or today, it's still friendship, it's still respect, it's still trust, it's still shared values, it's still deeper connections, and it's still love. And it's still love, not as the world see it, but it's patient, it's kind, it's not jealous, it doesn't boast, it's not prideful, it's not rude, it's not selfish because it doesn't demand its own way. It's not irritable, it does not keep record of wrong. It does not rejoice in injustice because it's the type of love that endures. It's the love that never fails. It's the love that always has faith, and it always hopes. And regardless of the times that we're in, I believe and I pray that that's the young man that you will continue to be, because I know that, as I always tell you, is don't harden your heart, because that's what the enemy wants to happen. The enemy wants you to harden your heart, because what'll happen is that, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But what also happens is that if you change the light, if you allow your light to dim, then you're going to attract who you are. And right now, you're who you are. But my prayer is that you don't change that, because I know that the young woman that God has for you is out there. And I know that God's going to cause your paths to cross. And I know in that moment is that when those kindred spirits, your spirit and hers, will come together, because you will be seeking God and she's seeking God. But if you change and you allow the circumstances of life and this world to harden your heart, then what will continue to be attracted to you is the very thing that you're not what will start to be attracted to you is the very thing that you don't want, and the very thing that you don't need. And so my prayer is that in this next season is that God would open your eyes, because she's out there. But for some reason, you're seeing other things, and those other things are appealing. But my prayer is that God would open up your eyes, but not your eyes, but your senses, so that you can perceive who he has for you, because I believe she's right there. And when he does that, then you'll know. But it has to be when the time is right, because if it's any other time before then, it could block his purpose and that he doesn't get the glory for it. So I don't think God has made any mistakes, and that his timing is perfect. And I don't lament any of the time and anything that you have gone through, because all things work together for the good of those who love him and called according to his purpose. And I think that his perfect and his will is perfect. And that I'm excited about what God has done, because you're here, you're happy, your joy. I see the joy in your eyes now, that big, wonderful smile. It just makes me so happy. And we are so looking forward to what God will continue to do in your life.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And going back to the hardening your heart thing, I've seen that a lot with guys my age. I've seen a lot in social media from the guy's perspective. And a lot of guys have started to act how some of the women's like types want. Because some women say they like a dude that's very toxic and rude and mean, and a guy that used to be nice and all cordial and very gentleman-like looks at that as like, oh, they want that? Okay, cool. I'll be that. And when they be that and they see they get the results they want, they stay like that. But sometimes it's to the wrong women, and the women that actually would love them for who they were before are repelled by them. And there was many times where some of my friends were like, Michael, just go cold. Don't do that. Don't be nice anymore. I'm like, no. Yeah, and like there were some times where I was like, maybe I should be like this. But at the same time, I prayed, and God was like, no.
Because it's not authentically who you are.
Exactly.
And so that person will continue to be the determine, you'll seek after that after for each person. So if you let that person to get that person, that woman, and now when she's gone out your life, then you'll look for the next one, and then that'll determine however she wants you to act, however she wants you to be, then that's when you'll determine that's how you'll be, instead of being who you authentically are. So don't ever change to be what someone else wants you to be. There'll be some times where again, I think what Dad said it best in terms of, you'll know when you're coming together. You won't have to compromise who you are. She won't have to compromise who she is to be for you all to be together.
Amen.
And I think that's the key to that. Well, Sonny.
Wait, no. Y'all talking about me, how what I think of the new generation and how it was back then. What's your opinion? Because I want to know what y'all think about my generation when it comes to dating and relation and things of that nature.
So that's a good question. And so
talk about it a lot.
So we have talked about it a lot, but I don't judge the current generation because I'm not in it. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I do is think about how it impacts you. And so that's what causes me to pray. That's what causes me to research. That's what causes me to listen. That's what causes me to ask questions. That's what causes me to pause a little bit longer on a TikTok video to understand a perspective that is completely like foreign to me, to be like, what are you thinking about? And so that's even another place where, I send you TikTok videos all the time and I'll be like, see, she's out there, because it'll be a young lady who is expressing like, this is the type of young man that I'm looking for, but where are you? And so I send you those videos to show you like, see, she's out there. Like the type of young lady that you're looking for is there. She's looking for the guy like you. And that's what made me be like, well, how can I somehow create the environment where the two of you can find, and I'm not talking about you and her to find each other, but types like you and types like her to find it, because obviously social media is not the place for that connection to be made, because it's a lot of roadblocks and it's a lot to have to decipher. And that's the reason why I don't even necessarily frown upon dating apps anymore, because you hear many people who have found love and who have been married and happily ever after. So it's like I've learned not to judge it, because how your mom and I found each other, and for me, as I continue to advocate for you too, is friendship. We were friends. We were friends for over almost 2 years before we decided, you know what, let's do this thing. And I think that's it. Like, I always tell you don't have expectations. Like just genuine. When you find someone who you're interested in, just be interested in them. Show a genuine interest. Call, check on them, see how they're doing. Just go grab a bite to eat. But you don't got to talk about anything romantic. You're just trying to figure out who they are, what they like. We hung out a lot. And that's how I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I like hanging out with this girl. But again, that's how I figured out that she just wasn't trying to be with me, but she was for me. And that was a big, big difference. It's like, I wasn't going to be able to go back to school. And I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be back at school this semester. And then she was like, why not? I was like, because I don't have the money. And she was like, okay. The next day she came by and she gave me the $400, I think it was, to finish paying for my tuition. And to me, that's it. Like, I saw a video today where they were talking about a young man and a young woman dating, and they were asking them, how much is in your bank account? And the young lady had thousands upon tens of thousands, and the young man didn't have them. He had hundreds. But they had been together for a while, and then he felt some kind of way because he was like thinking, I've been busting my butt to give you everything. And you mean to tell me you've had thousands and thousands of dollars in your account, but not one time have you offered to pay for gas, a meal, a food, or anything? And to me, that's like, and again, that's different for this generation. But for her, it wasn't even a second thought. I didn't even have to ask for it. And she was just like, I got you. And immediately it was like, wait a minute, this girl is different. And that's what I mean for you, is that when you find somebody who's genuinely for you, and she knew like, bro, I'm not about to let you not go back to college for a couple $100 and I can give that to you. And to me, that was like, dude, she is not just with me, she's for me. And that was a game changer for me. So I don't judge, but I'll let mom go.
Yeah, I mean, I think dating is different. I think the method of dating is different. And maybe expectations, I don't know, certain things I don't understand. But I still think the end result, everybody still wants the end result, which is companionship. Friend, I should say not everybody. I think ultimately, and sometimes I think people may fight against that and may show something different. But I think ultimately, as humans, because that's just how we were created for connections. And so I think everybody wants those connections. And so often the method of getting those connections and meaningful connections, I think, impacts that. And so, again, I do think social media, I think music, I think even what people kind of where the conversation started earlier, like who's talking to people about dating, who's, I don't know if everybody has this kind of conversation.
You mean with their son
or daughter, or they have people in their lives. Like every opportunity I get, I try to talk to young ladies about dating. If you sit down and ask me about being married, I'm in. You in for it? You want to hear the real deal? You want to hear that? I'm here for that because I believe that's what God has given me or called me to do, because I can't expect more of your generation if no one is talking to you all about it. So often I think we talk about dating and we talk about relationships because we need to, we have to, we want you to do that well and do it in a healthy way. So it is different. So to answer your question, it's different. But I think ultimately everyone wants the same, which is companionship and to be supported. A lot of the things that you named already.
And the other reason why I don't judge is because everybody's situation is not like ours. So even the example that you have is different from the example that somebody else has. Mm-hmm. Like you grew up in a home where there was peace here. You didn't grow up in a home where we were arguing, fussing, and fighting, where many of you in your generation will categorize a relationship as toxic or toxic behaviors. You didn't experience or witness that. So therefore, you don't understand when there are triggers from someone's past or someone's childhood that causes them to act a certain way. You don't necessarily understand or compute that. Not to say that our life was perfect, because there's other things that may trigger you, even that I've done or that your mom have done or that you've experienced in the past. But I think that, it wouldn't be fair for us to judge the current generation on how you date, because every single person is different. Every situation is different. And that's why I often tell you, and it could be just me, but that's why I often tell you, don't cut her off so quick, son. Just like, I know she said this or that, but just, ask a few questions, but you'd be like, oh, I already blocked her. I already cut her off. I already deleted her number.
So
I'm like, I know I'm just joking. I'm joking. But I mean, but again, I joke, but at the same time, you have been on a journey and your discernment is very high. So I'm also not you. And so I'm very careful not to tell you what to do, because what the advice that I would give to there's been many times I told you the Holy Spirit would shut my mouth because I'm trying to give you advice. And I'm like, wait, that's what you would do. That's not what he should do. And so there's times where I'll be like, I'll ask questions, and you hate my questions, but I'll ask questions to get you to think about and to be introspective so that you can make a decision for yourself. I don't want to make the decision for you, but I'm here to help you think it through. But ultimately, it's a decision that you have to make.
Yeah, I literally saw a clip. I think it was from Come to America, and it was literally how it kind of depicted how modern dating was. You all seen the clip. It was him and his friend at a club.
Oh yeah.
And the first, it was like, and the first girl's like, "You want to hear a secret?" And I was like, sitting there like, "Okay." And like, I was kind of as treated as they were. It's like, "Oh, it's the devil." I was like, "Whoa, okay, yep, no."
So a lot. That's a classic scene. Classic scene.
Just dealing out different ones. It was two twin. It was a twin.
Yes,
group,
there's many.
And I was like, it's kind of creepy.
It's many. I'm sure they've seen Coming to America. If not, go watch
the
it.
The iconic one where dude spits out his water. I forgot. I don't know where.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, this has been a great conversation. I'm sorry, Mom. You got something else?
Yeah, no, I was going to give him the rapid fire questions.
Oh, let's go.
Because that's how we usually wrap up this. I would like to say thank you for being our first guest.
Of course.
Yes.
You're the first guest on the winning team. So rapid fire questions. This is how it goes. Usually I'm asking Dad these rapid fire questions. You can answer these in one word. Okay?
Cool.
Don't overthink it. Just answer the question.
All right, cool.
Okay? All right. Adulting is
not easy.
Yes. Okay. College is
it's not that hard, actually.
Okay.
It's not hard as I thought it would be.
I'm looking forward to in this new school year.
Opportunities.
All right. What I've learned about myself is
growth happens, shift happens. Not another word, like a pastor said in his sermon. Shift happens. And growth is kind of hard, honestly. Growth is hard, but it gets better for the good of your future.
Okay, great. Love is
complicated. My goodness gracious. It's beautiful but complicated.
Love it.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, this has been an amazing time that we've been able to spend with the W3 winning team. Please like, share, comment. This was a very subscribe, please, right now. Now, this has been a very interesting conversation. So I'm sure many of you may have some comments. Please, we want to hear your comments. We want to hear what you have to say. Many of the things that we've said today may have triggered you as a parent, triggered you as a woman, triggered you as a man. And even if it did, we just, and again, we're not trying to tell anybody what to think. We're just giving you some things to think about. And so we hope that you would please give us a shout out, share it, like it, send it to everybody you know, but please continue to support. Again, Eugene, Latanya, Micah, we so love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out for another episode of W3 Winning Team Podcast. Peace.